Hello everyone, and welcome back to another Eruption of Shame, my short little series where I go in and have a look at all the new games that have been given out for free or close to free with Humble, Prime, and other platforms. Today as well, I am planning on doing a brief Stellaris mod list look because I have currently set up what I hope to be the mod list that I'm going to run with the new series of Stellaris, all the mods. So I'll run through that a little bit as well. But for today, for right this very second, we have the July Humble Bundle game. And I must say, looking at these games this time around, I was afraid that I owned most of them for some reason. Like, I knew I had a Plague Tale, I knew I had a sticker game, and I knew I had Ghost Runner. Turns out, I had the first Plague Tale, I had the first Ghost Runner, and I had a completely unrelated sticker game. So we're all good. Let's have a look at this bundle and see if it's any good for me, and maybe check out if it's good for you as well. So the first game is Plague Tale Requiem. Now this is a story-based action adventure game, which is actually pretty well received on Steam. With very positive. I played the original. There's even a Mount of Shame video for it. I didn't fully pass it. I did like what I saw. The world building was very atmospheric, and the game in general was quite a lot of fun. So this I consider to be a decent pickup, especially given its price. Now keep in mind, at the moment the Steam sales are on, so a lot of games are already cheap. If there's just one game you want, you might want to have a look at the Steam sale and see if it's any cheaper. But to be quite frank, this seems like a pretty decent opening salvo from Humble this month. Next, we have Ghost Runner 2. This is a cyberpunk game. I never actually have gotten around to playing the first one yet. But action, adventure, strategy, cyberpunk, running through the world. Look, it's okay. It's on my wish list, so that's good. It's another good pickup for me in general. But I don't know. It's less exciting to me than I would have hoped. It's less of like an RPG and more of an action game, which is fine for some people, but for me personally, I much prefer a little bit of progression. Yeah, that's the magic word for me, but that's okay. Next game is Starship Troopers Terran Command. Terran Command. So this is a RTS game, and it's got a pretty high price. Its ratings started off pretty low, but moved its way up more recently, all the way up to very positive. The Starship Troopers games are always a little bit goofy, wacky, etc. And quite frankly, I think any game that's trying to do single player RTS in this day and age is a friend of mine, because there's not enough single player RTS. It's always multiplayer, it's always esports. So this is a fun one. This is a good pickup for me, and something I've been looking forward to having on my mountain at some point, and then never looking at for multiple years. Next we have Sticky Business. I misremembered which game this was. I know, shocking for me, right? But no, this is another sticky game. There are two sticky games. There's a Sticker Tale or whatever it's called, and a Sticky Business. This one came out of pretty much nowhere a few years back, but took the world, well, not the world, but took everyone by storm because everyone loved it. I never actually did get around to playing it, to seeing if it's more than just a game. Maybe it's an actual game and not just a designer. Like, I'd like to know. It does say simulation, however, so it's very possible there's not. But yeah, it says you can own a collection of stickers, sell them on a shop, and then I'll just keep going from there. Which honestly sounds pretty good. Nice, chill, pretty good. Oh, it goes into a little bit more detail than I would have expected. You put the filling, the paper, and then put all the stickers in there. I see. Very nice, very nice. Well, then that's a good pickup as well. 97% overwhelming positive doesn't happen by chance, so yay. Anyway, Zoti. Now, this is another roguelike card battler, but unlike a lot of roguelike card battlers, the cards look like they're just cards, which is interesting. It should be said, I love roguelike card battlers, and I've got a couple of them coming up in my Mountain of Shame that I've just played recently, and I'm always happy to see them here. This is one I already owned, however, so, But I shouldn't have been surprised that Humble would give out roguelike card battlers. They give them out all the bloody time. So if you like roguelike card battlers, you'll like Humble in general, I suppose, is the big thing. So yes. Next, we have Figment 2 Creed Valley. As you probably may be aware, if you've ever looked at my popular videos list, this is one game I played on my mountain a very long time ago. The first one, and then I fell in love with it and ended up playing the second one the second it came out, and was very excited about it. Had a great old time with it, and even uploaded a few videos of its ending and a few of its key songs. This game is lovely. Um, it's got a really nice, cohesive storyline, really likable characters, some emotional parts. It is a fantastic little romp. And if you want to play through it yourself, now's your chance. Putting it in Humble Bundle is very good. So I hope that a lot of other people find it they like it. There's even a quote unquote co-op mode which you can play with a younger child or sibling, where literally they just control the bird and can do literally nothing but fly around and be a bird, which honestly sounds like a pretty good time for me. Um, so yes, this is a good game. It's sort of like almost Bastion-esque combat. A little bit of action in there, a little bit of like, you know, yeah, it's just fun. It's just fun. You're really just there for the music, the storyline, the artwork. The world is really beautiful. Everything makes music, and when you're walking around it, it's just a fantastic, phenomenal, like little romp of adventure with some great bosses. Each of the bosses even have their own musical numbers, etc. It's just really nice. It's really nice. So this one, if you don't already have it, is a fantastic pickup. I hope you enjoy it, and please tell me if you do in the description down below. But otherwise, yes. And we have something called Heretics Fork. This one is on my wish list, which makes me believe it's probably a similar game to something like a Vampire Survivors or something similar. I'm still not entirely sure what it is, but it definitely grabs me as one of those endless wave killing games, which, quite frankly, I like them. So why not? um, expand your deck, punish your enemies. Yeah, no, this looks great. This was absolutely great. So, pretty good pickup. It wouldn't have been something I would have thought to buy myself, even when it was on special. So that's a nice pickup. And I think the final game now is Hyper Violent. This is one of those. Is one of many of those retro-inspired first-person games that we've been seeing recently. This one's trying to do some more unique things, but it's definitely trying to go for those like Descent style views. Um, it's not a horror, thankfully, as much as the name looks like it is. It might keep me on my toes if I end up playing it, but yeah, that's another game for my mountain, I suppose. So realistically, this bundle was a lot better than I thought. I only own 2 of the games at the moment, and the rest of them are all new and quite interesting to me. More so than I thought. It's like, Plague Tale Requiem. That's actually pretty interesting. I played the original, maybe I like this one. Its screenshots have a bit more color in them. Sticky Business, phenomenally rated. Who doesn't love stickers? Who doesn't love business? Sounds pretty good to me as well. So it's a pretty decent-ish bundle for me personally. But what do you guys think? What do you think of these things? Are they going to be good for you as well? Are you looking forward to any particular game more than another? You should probably tell me in the comments down below. But besides that, we also have the Amazon Prime games. Now, it should be said that last month, we did have an issue where only half of the month's games were actually included in the leak or the post that said about what's happening. So we didn't actually see a lot of them. We didn't see Deceive Inc. We didn't see The Invisible Hand. We didn't see Test Stone, Call of Juarez, Forager, Card Shark, a lot of them, basically. So if you haven't been here for a while, please come here, claim these games. Some of them are pretty good. A lot of them are GOG codes or Epic codes. They're actually on proper platforms. As usual, no Steam codes, but that's to be expected, I suppose. Realistically, I see nothing wrong with this, but I would have liked to have a little bit of a heads up so I can talk about it in general. Should be said, the next set of games are due for coming out as well. And we do have a more complete view of the month, thankfully. So I can actually say that, hey, we've got everything now. The first game coming out on July the 3rd for Amazon Prime users is War World. Explore the mysterious war world on your giant robo spider. Mine for valuable resources, upgrade your equipment, fight hordes of monsters, and discover exotic biomes between attacks. Honestly, this one looks like an interesting one to me. I don't think I own it yet. I haven't checked, but it looks like it could be quite an interesting one. It looks like you're basically traveling with this little robot and just for some reason coming into a bunch of different like mini sections. It sounds like a very unique way of doing a roguelike. Um, so yeah, that sounds fun. Got 188 people playing it right now. The next game, also coming out on July 3rd, is Hitman Absolution. Now, this one is not the most beloved game in the series. That goes to Blood Money, of course. But it does have one illustrious crown, and that is probably being the most accessible Hitman game. While people would argue the Hitman 1, 2, and 3, the current series of Hitman games that's been all building on each other, having their games moving over, that's the much better Hitman game in comparison because it's just so big. Or some people might say, I'd rather Blood Money because, why not? Hitman Absolution is probably the most accessible Hitman game that I know in the series. That doesn't make it easy, and there are multiple difficulty levels, but it is a relatively digestible Hitman. So if you've always wanted to try a Hitman game but haven't really known the best entry point, picking this up on July 3rd might be your best bet. The next game also on July 3rd, and the last game on July 3rd is Call of Juarez, Bound in Blood. I know I said that wrong. I'm sure I said that wrong, but that's not the point. The point is, this is a Western action FPS multiplayer as well. Apparently, it's a single player as well. It's not going to be like quite a discount Red Dead. I don't think it's focused as much on RPG mechanics, but it looks pretty cool. I don't think I own this one. So that's not bad. Honestly, the Amazon games have not been terrible. And that's 3 pretty heavy hitting, at least in my mind, games all released in the one day. So yeah. The next one, less so for me, but you never know, maybe for other people. There's 101 people playing it right now anyway, so yeah. We then have Turtles Shredder's Revenge. Should we say the last 2 games? War World, Amazon Games app. Hitman and Juarez are going to be both GOG codes. This one is also going to be an Epic Games code and is a beat 'em up. I mean, everyone loves the Ninja Turtles, and the art style of the game, the animations of the game is pretty nice. So I see no problem with this as a pickup in general. As you see, even on special, this one is relatively expensive. So we've got a bunch of different stuff there. So look, it's pretty expensive in general. So this is probably a pretty good pickup for free. It's another one for July 11th. The next game for July 11th is also pretty damn good, but yeah. This is Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic 2. This is not made by the same people as Knights of the Old Republic 1, but was largely considered just as good as the original. Maybe a little bit more janky because it came from Obsidian. But Obsidian is a very good game company with some great developers who make some pretty great stuff. Now, this is another one which will be on the Amazon game app. If you do decide to play this, you should know that there is a cut content mod, and there's a bunch of mods for Knights of the Old Republic 2, which might be worth looking into. While the game is amazing, and it's most likened to something like a Mass Effect, because the original Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic was made by BioWare. It's licensed. It's very much similar to like a Mass Effect or a Dragon Age sort of a setup thing, but in the Star Wars licensed universe. It has a lot to it, in that like you get force powers, you try and work your way, and you go through this beautiful, expansive, many world setup, and using your force powers as you go, persuasion, intimidation, etc. Even though you're a light side person or a dark side person, you can choose either. You can still choose to use some dark side force powers, which is also quite nice. You don't feel like you need to be limited. Overall, this game is probably one of my favorite Star Wars games. I'm not a big Star Wars person, but there's something about this RPG, this beautiful, beautiful single player sci-fi massive RPG, and its predecessor and its thing, which makes me just love it. Absolutely love it. So this is not a bad pickup if you don't want to spend the $2 on Fanatical right now. But yes. Next, also on July 11th, we have a Epic Games Store key for Alex Kidd in Miracle World DX. Now, this, as you can see, is a platformer. It's a very colorful platformer that looks like it has many different ways of playing it, which is both terrifying to me and quite interesting. It feels very much like it's going for that multi-arcade setup, which a lot of games do seem to be trying to mimic. But no, it looks nice. It looks very nice. It should be said, its recent reviews have been less than stellar, as you'd expect from a precision platformer, often talking about the controls if people aren't quite good enough at it. I don't know if it's control issues which are the game's fault or if it's just, a get good sort of thing. But yes, that's that. The next and last game released for Amazon Prime Day, the Prime Day lead up on July 11th is Samurai Bringer, another one for the Amazon store and Amazon Games directly. It is a roguelike action adventure game. I mean, that sounds good to me so far. Collectathon, yeah. I see nothing wrong with this. I've never heard of this game before, but its art style, it's isometric, and it's like it seems both pixelated and voxelated, but neither at the same time. That is a really interesting little art style. I don't know how to describe that. But this game seems really interesting to me. This is definitely a nice little pickup, to be honest. Yeah, I can see myself having a lot of fun with this game. So yeah, that's the last one coming out on July 11th. Then on the next day, on July 18th, we have YouTubers Live 2. It should be said, I did play the original of this. The original of this was before it got quote unquote big. I liked the original. The original was quite good. It had a couple of like YouTubers in it, or people who were meant to be YouTubers, but didn't really have many actual like cringy YouTube moments. This one is after it's made its success. So as far as I know, it has a lot more like branded content. Like it's got actual YouTubers in it. And while the original game was very much a nice Carriosoft style management game, and this one probably is as well, I do know it. I think it has more like integration, quote unquote, with social media, etc. It's a little bit more like, ooh, post your content sort of thing. So I was never as excited about YouTubers Live 2 as I was the first one. The first one, it should be said, is pretty damn good. You can get through like 3 or 4 different types of channels, each with their own sort of unique gameplay. And also you can go all the way up to having a bloody mansion, I believe, in space. So you could always go for the original. But this second one, as you can see, it's never really dropped too low before. So it's not a bad pickup for the Amazon Games app to get. In fact, this one might actually be the best way of playing it because it's got no way of linking to your socials. So if you play, actually, it's a good point. That's a really good point. Hold up. Sorry, I just had to write a note for future me that YouTubers Live 2 may have less bloat if I play it on Prime, which I will also get because I always play my games, of course, as you should too. So yeah, that's actually pretty decent. Having a version of YouTubers Live that isn't necessarily going to be filled with like plastering names and submissions, sharing things all over the place. That's actually not too bad. Next, on July 18th as well, we have Maneater. This game's been given out multiple times before on Epic already, and this once again will be another Epic key as well. You probably already know what this game is. If you don't, well, how? Were you living under a rock these past few years? I don't know. Either way, this is Maneater. It is a shark game. You do shark things. It is very shark. Om nom nom. Next, we have Baldur's Gate 2, Enhanced Edition. Look, Baldur's Gate 3 is popular at the moment. Of course, they're going to release Baldur's Gate 2 for free, but they've already given out this game multiple ways and multiple times. There's been multiple Baldur's Gate games given out. It's good if you don't have it. If you do, okay. It is what it is. So that's another one for 18th. Now, on the 25th, we have Cat Quest 2. Now, Cat Quest is apparently a very high-rated game. There are several games in the series. Cat Quest 1, 2, and 3. I think there might even be a 4 at some point. Yeah, I have never played them. Not really a big cat fan, but you never know. It might actually sway me a little bit. Then we have Midnight Fight Express, another game I've never really heard of before, an action beat 'em up game. This is also on July 25th. And finally, there's something called Master Plan Tycoon, which honestly feels a little bit, I don't know how to describe it. Feels a little bit basic in what you're doing, but that might be good. So, yeah, nothing too bad. These last 3 games are 2 GOG codes for the first ones, and this one's on Amazon as well. So, quite frankly, Amazon Prime, not a bad selection as usual. Not a bad selection at all. I would say, in general, that I generally prefer Humble because it gives out Steam codes for the most part, but this is not too bad. So, that's good too. And of course, as always, we've got other bundles coming out too. First, we have the Tiny Build bundle from IGN Live. As you may know about June, there's a lot of games announced and released announced in June. June and August are the 2 big times of the year for game announcements. And of course, that's good to know, I guess. As you can see, there are a few bundles to do with that, including this Tiny Build one of IGN Live. I did not buy this primarily because I already owned most of the games in the bundle, but it's not a bad bundle. Graveyard Keeper is a life sim. I didn't really get into it myself because it was really slow, but some people really love Graveyard Keeper. You can be a cannibal and stuff, but yeah, so that's something. Not for Broadcast is a phenomenal game, and you get both the DLC. Not really a fan of Hello Neighbor 2, obviously, and Cartel Tycoon. Well, it looks like a game I will like. I have not played it myself yet either, but it seems like a pretty decent little collection, which is nice. Streets of Rogue I have played, very fun. I actually just played Nitro Kid on my Mount of Shame, and I had a ball. I should be said, it didn't last me as long as I was expecting. I sort of felt like I got my fill after only a couple of hours because it's another one of those Slay the Spire style roguelike deck builders, which, some of them are really good and really interesting. Some of them aren't. I didn't find this one as interesting because I wasn't as interested in the setting, which is usually how it works. But it was all right. It was all right. Gameplay-wise, all right. And then you have the Summer GDQ Games Done Quick bundle as well. So this is more of a charity bundle. They're all charity bundles. Just remember, you can make it more of a charity bundle by kicking Humble's contribution out and putting down publishers. Just get up Doctors Without Borders. There we go. Now, is this a good bundle? Well, it's got Morrowind in it. If you don't have Morrowind, yes. Morrowind's fantastic. Same with Dishonored. Very good bundle. A very good game. The rest of them, they're all right. I don't know very much about them, but I'm not really going to jump out of my way for them. I didn't end up getting this bundle just because I'd have to give away half of it, but that's okay. Then we have the Upload VR Showcase Devolver Digital Collection. These are VR games, so if you have VR, maybe a good idea. For me, I already own a lot of these games because it's VR. VR bundles come out hot and heavy, so if you're looking at getting a VR headset, getting a bundle from there can be quite a good idea. Then we have Stratagog, which is a GOG game bundle, strangely enough. So all these games are on GOG, good old games, rather than on the Steam store. Still, it honestly isn't that impressive a bundle, but it still works. Still works. So yeah, not a bad bundle, but honestly, not really my thing. Then finally, oh boy, this is a bundle that I don't want to buy. It's the Outfits, Adventures, and Best Friends Forever bundle, containing Peppa Pig games, Bratz games, My Little Pony. This feels like a bundle for anyone else. Just not me. Not me. No, not me. That's a not me bundle. I do not want more Peppa Pig games. Yes, I already own one of these games as well. Oh, Bratz. I mean, does anyone really like Bratz? Anyway, let's go through this in general. I'm going to keep going the next bundle and then we're going to end this video up pretty quickly. All right. So then we have the Build Your Own Platinum Collection 2024 for June. Honestly, the Platinum Collection is pretty expensive and often has pretty decent games in it. This time, however, I found myself underwhelmed by it. A lot of games I already owned, but a lot of them really didn't jump out as something worth talking about too much. Diamond Bundle as well, pretty expensive. I'm about to maybe buy it, but like I also just don't care as much. It does have the full complete collection of Dishonored, so if you don't want to buy if you don't want to get Dishonored in that other Humble Bundle, this may actually be a cheaper way to get it. Prey is also quite good. I still don't own Fallout 76 for obvious reasons. Just they'll keep slamming it down my throat, and will keep not taking it. So yeah, that's another thing, the Diamond Collection. Eventually they'll just include it in a bunch of other ones. Now, Build Your Own Rampage bundle. It has a lot of interesting games in it, including Yaga, which is a game I played just recently on my Mount of Shame and actually really loved and want to play more of. So that's nice. As you'd see, I already own most of the games in this bundle. I can't speak to many of them yet because I haven't actually pulled them from my mountain, but it's just another games bundle containing a lot of things which has already been given away by Fanatical. Speaking of a game bundle that already has a lot of things being given away by Fanatical, I find it very ironic that this version has the Dishonored collection in it, and it's like they've got two bundles, and I think this one has the worst value way of getting it. So yeah, probably not the best way to get Bethesda titles, but anyway, it's there if you don't have any, I suppose. If you don't look at the other sections, I don't know. Then we got a bunch of games which are all remakes and reimaginings of like classic games. Nothing bad, but also nothing to really write home about here. You can see, hey, there's Alex Kidd in Miracle World DX. That's the game being given out by Humble Prime, no, Amazon Prime, not Humble Prime. That'd be weird. So there's that. And finally, we had the Build Your Own Enigma bundle, which is basically full of a bunch of hidden object games. Some people really love hidden object games. I'm not a huge fan, but honestly, trying to get 10 of these games for only $1 each is not that bad. So if you're interested in that, it's ending in 14 days apparently. So you still got plenty of time to get there. Now, as I said, the final thing I want to talk about this time, final thing. All right, here we are with the final thing, Stellaris, which of course is what a lot of people are waiting for. I look back at some of my early Stellaris videos. They have a lot of views and a fair number of people being like, "Oh, where's more?" You're the only person who does like hyper modded gameplay. I'm like, yes. But I was also hoping I could get away with not doing any more hyper modded gameplay until I got my new computer. Because currently I'm still on my old computer. But here we are. It's finally reached a point where there's been some expansions that came out and have not been instantly rammed into the ground being shit. Machine Age is probably the most exciting and interesting expansion pack we have gotten in like 2 or 3 years. It's people have been calling it the new Utopia, which is like whoa. And yeah, we got a couple of other smaller DLCs coming with that season pass. I much prefer the season pass system than I do the expansion pass system. I much prefer paying for one season and keeping it as opposed to having to pay a subscription. Though it should be said, subscription is cheaper if it's your only way into Stellaris. If you just buy a subscription, you get all the access DLC for a couple of months while you play it. That actually sounds pretty decent too. But let's have a look here. First of all, DLC. Obviously, I'm going to enable all of them, and I have all of them. I did go back and purchase the old ones that I didn't own. So I did go back and get the what was it? First Contact. Just ones. Where's the other ones? The point is, I got all the ones that I had already not owned. I did get them all. So Overlord, obviously Machine Age is new-ish. Yeah, there's a bunch of little ones I did get, like the Rift pack, whatever that is. I got all that, so we're there. We're back up to date on DLC. Literally, I did not own a couple of these, and I was like, I was feeling naked. I just didn't have my Stellaris. But I've also set up my playlist. Now this one does load. It takes a very long time to load, though. It takes a very long time to load. But as you see, there's a massive list of mods here. Now, this may not be the final list because I am planning on hopefully trying to start recording this today, but it might fail. It might fail hard because I'm a little bit bigger than my last one. The Insane Run, I looked at its old list and it was like 80 mods. Now we're up to 123 mods, and that Insane Run, if you remember correctly, didn't actually end correctly because it just ran into too many glitches by the end. But yes, obviously I've also built the galactic Quasarcraft before, and I've also done all the way through to the Secrets of the Shroud level ACOT. And I was thinking this time around, I want to do the framework. I want to do the framework in Gigastructures. Means I probably won't have Ancient Cache of Technologies, but here we are, Ancient Cache of Technologies and Gigastructures, and of course the Void Frame actually the framework got a compatibility patch, so I'll be able to take advantage of most of the ACOT stuff in this. So the Void Frame mod allows you to upgrade your framework into the 3 various levels of Void. I don't know how that works in terms of actually unlocking those, because it has to deal with that too, because I can't build Void planets if I can't actually build other planets. But we'll see what solution they've came with. I want to upgrade my framework to as high as it goes and see where that goes. I want to make the clumpiest clump that ever clumped. But yes, there's a lot of games. There's a lot of mods here. Some of them are new, some of them are old. Obviously, Ancient Cache Technologies returning. Acquisition Technologies, Secret Shroud, Gigastructures, all the ones you'd expect. A few of the crises which just remained updated, like Solar Storms, they're also going to be included. A bunch of perk packs are updated at the moment, like more than they've ever had it once before. Same with Traditions packs. A lot of them are updated for 3.12. People are excited about this version of Stellaris. This is the first time people have been excited about the Stellaris for a while. I've got Gilly's Technologies and chip components. You'll notice I do not have the one for Gilly's planetary features because I won't be on planets very often, and I don't want to give the AI that much of an advantage. I just want to see as far as I can go. We've got a bunch of story events here, lots and lots of things. I've actually included the government story packs as well because I feel like that makes sense. There's also something called Hyperquasic Mega Construction, which I've never heard of, and there's a second Gigastructures mod that I've not Gigastructures, Megastructures mod that I've installed as well, which I have no idea. They look kind of crazy, and some of them not in a good way, but others look quite interesting. So I'm looking forward to seeing what happens there. There's the EP's additional Megastructures. That's another big major thing I've added in this particular build in general. I did tech it a couple of days ago, and when I last checked, all the UI is working. Everything is working. Everything is ready. Everything is ready for me to hopefully have a good time. I've also, because, I have to mod everything, even stuff I haven't seen before, I have downloaded a mod which adds more astral rifts, even though I've never actually played with the original ones. More enclaves, always good as well. Lots and lots of different things here. There are several ways we can and probably will die in this series, and a lot of different crises that I've never seen before that we will be meeting. So I hope you join us for that. I'm quite excited about playing some more Stellaris. And as I said, this mods list may change before the start, but I'm hoping it doesn't. So thank you for joining me today. This has been my Eruption of Shame. This has been all the humble Amazon Prime and bundles and Stellaris, the Stellaris teasers that you need for now. So thank you for joining me, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.